Today's topic is PetroBase Pro's Lifting Cost Dashboard. Everything in the Lifting Cost Dashboard is included and derived from the desktop oilfield management application. Often more times than not, PetroBase Pro will enhance your accounting entries with greater detail for deeper analysis. The dashboard differs since it is browser-based and it does offer certain advantages. The Lifting Cost Dashboard is visual, interactive, informative, highlights expense anomalies, and it is designed to create action. In the end, we will combine your accounting data with production and well data and place your chart of accounts into 10 categories for analysis noted on the far right. Now, let's take a look at the unique function contained in the dashboard. The upper area, we have categories which essentially define subsets of your company. In this case, I'm using the county subset. Immediately below is a pie chart which illustrates the percent each expense category contributes to the total. These categories are also listed on the far right. Categories may include multiple accounting groups. For instance, the fixed category may include overhead, insurance, and pumper's expense. The failure category will include expenses for pulling unit, pump repair, pressure test and steam tubing, downhole tubular replacement, and so forth. Right of this are some basic metric gauge dials. The top two dials show the net lifting cost for oil and gas. These are primary in our analysis. For our analysis, we use 12 months of expense data and the average production value over the last 3 months. The lower two dials illustrate the monthly expense per well and the amount of production per well. These can also be useful key metrics. On the far right is a color-coded horizontal bar chart. The default sorting and bar width is based on total expenses. The chart may be filtered by expense type using the pull-down menu, and its presentation may be changed by toggling the switch in the lower right-hand corner. When toggled, the representative portion each category contributes to the whole will be illustrated. This can become very useful in your analysis. The tabular lifting cost data provided along the bottom gives us the subset summary or the desired drill down details. Column headings may be clicked to resort the data. Furthermore, in addition to the sum categories, individual metrics are provided with production values, and at the far right is a working interest profit index which is based on actual revenue data. The tabular data may be redefined by clicking on the down arrow, which will present new metrics which will help you analyze your company. The lifting cost tab will present total category expenditures along with 4 new metrics. These are taxes per net BOE, utility costs per barrel of fluid, saltwater disposal costs per barrel of water, and fixed income per net BOE. All of these have value, but I am normally drawn to the utility metric. Here I can see how the metric varies across the subset for making specific comparisons later. The chemical metric tabs focuses on chemical and failure expense items along with their related metrics. The first two metrics are the chemical to failure expense ratio and the combined per well chemical and failure expenditure ratio. When available, we use only chemicals designated to prevent failures. Additionally, there is a relationship between the amount spent on chemicals and the failure frequencies. The 3 other metrics include failure-related chemical expenses per barrel of fluid, the emulsifier cost per barrel of oil, and the paraffin cost per barrel of oil. In some cases, operators may include the cost of hot oiling in their paraffin cost. Again, these subset metrics should be noted and used for comparisons to find cost anomalies. Now that the dashboard pieces have been identified, let's look at their interactive and drill down nature. Normally, users will click on either the bar chart items or table rows to drill down to the underlying leases. In this case, I'm going to select all leases and use the net per BOE filter by entering 40 Doing so will highlight lease names in the bar chart area since I've selected fewer than 20 names. There are probably two primary ways the lifting cost dashboard can be utilized. First is a systematic review of each lease, drilling down into the underlying data one lease at a time. To illustrate the drill down nature for a specific lease, I'm going to select the Gnung B row, which will result in summary information being displayed along with 12 months of expense data. Additionally, in the upper area, our gauge dials will be updated and the bar chart will give away to the lease's pie chart. From here, we can drill down to a specific invoice by expanding panels. If I go down and click on pulling unit, I can see in November of 19, we spent $2,456 express well service for a tubing leak. Conversely, I could have clicked on the lease pie chart to drill down to a specific category. Clicking on the failure slice will show the accounts associated with failure cost. Here again, we can drill down to the specific invoices. Clicking on the failure pie and then the chart button will return us to all the leases. The other approach is to be guided by cost metrics to identify anomalies and potential savings or area concerns. By switching to the lifting cost metric, we can sort the table by utility cost. Obviously, the Cunningham lease has an issue. This well is on propane, produces very low amounts of fluid, so I presume the pumping unit should be slowed. Still using our cost metrics to drive our approach, I could filter our leases by the chemical and failure expenses. While sorting on the demulsifier metric. Of largest concern is the Solomon lease, which has a demulsifier cost of $3.05 per barrel of oil. This is compared to an average value of 21 cents for the entire company. Clicking on the Solomon row will show the chemical and failure categories, which we could drill down to the specific invoice detail. This is a true story. We noticed this anomaly with the rollout of dashboards in November. And you may notice the lack of demulsifier expense. Let me go back. Yeah, you may notice the lack of demulsifier expenses here in November and December. The chemical savings from this lease alone paid for the entire cost of PetroBase Pro. Hard to imagine, but this has occurred many times. The final item I'd like to share with you is the information sheet located in the upper right-hand corner. Clicking the eye will display the context and definitions. I want to thank you for your time, and I hope you've enjoyed this presentation.